Alrighty, we're back in the Studio F based on the audio of the last clip for the dual band Yagi. Studio F it is, indeed. So, come on, let's grab some liquid and come in here and screw some stuff together or something.
I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something. Hey, I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Okay, we're back at it. This obby is the I don't know if you can even see that. It's the T-way radio. It's got to be two-way radio. It's a high gain Yagi, and this is for the 404 to 470 megahertz. So 70 centimeter, or I'm thinking you could probably tune it to be a pretty effective Yagi for GMRS. So that's that. I haven't even opened this one yet. I'm assuming based on the 2 meter that we just assembled, that it should just be magical. Again, there's your setup instructions. Now this is interesting how they've got that feed point, and it wouldn't be a balancer because there's not two of them, but anywho, let's oh, okay, so there's your dealy wampus there for mounting that. So I may be cutting back and forth to figure stuff out instead of boring you to tears. Mr. Utility Knife, you're a beast. Okay, and as stated in the previous video, that's pretty trick. Looks like heat shrink, and I'm guessing it would go in here, you know, because I'm a guessing kind of guy. And it would probably go like this because A and A, and then B and B, and then we're going to be slamming the radials in here and screwing them down. Again, each radial is numbered. Each location that it's to occupy is numbered, and it looks like all the screws are the same. So let me get my Mr. Ratcheting screwdriver. Probably out of frame over here on the side, but it is what it is. At some point, for some reason, in the last video, the last segment, I lost audio, and I have no answer for that. You probably have noticed that I had to do a dub, or whatever. And this will be the last assembly that I do here in Studio FU. I'm not excited about that joint at all, so I may be taking that screw out and doing a through bolt to get a little bit more direct oomph on it. And based on my keen sense of guessing, I'm going to say that one is there. And again, each one of these radials or elements are numbered. It's actually etched on it. It's not a sticker that's going to come off, and it's actually etched in the rail. So, like I said, if you can keep the jarhead in your life from eating the crayons, he can probably follow along and get this thing put together post haste. And making sure that I have all the numbers on the right side, because, you know, issues. And this one should be much simpler because it's only a single frequency or single band, 440, and it should be rather pleasant to install. The only thing I'm curious about is that the feed point. I was reading up on that, and of course, if you hold your mouth right, you can actually. Well, that's a little bit of a hmm. 6 has got some sort of an issue where it does not want to allow it to slide through squarely and play nice with the other kids. I'm thinking that it's this screw here, except for it's not a screw, it's a rivet that is sticking up and keeping it from sliding all the way through smoothly. I really don't want to beat the crap out of the thing. I mean, as I beat the crap out of it, but I ain't afraid to do it either. So, is there really such a thing as too much force? I mean, really? So, I'm going to move these over here, and I'm just going to start dropping some screws in here. And it looks like all the screws to mount the radials and put the rail parts together are the same, so we don't need no stinking instructions. No, seriously, we don't need any instructions for this. And I'm not putting any Gorilla Torque on it. Machine tapered metal screws sheet metal screws, soft aluminum. You see where I'm going with that? I wonder if I have a round file somewhere in my bag of tricks that I can use to file down the end of that rivet that's protruding up into the shaft, the rail, prohibiting me from joining element 6 to the rest of the team. It's like element number 6 just wants to be an individual. And it should just slide in just as magically as that and allow the Padawan learner here with the screwdriver to add some rotational force to it and screw it down. But it looks like it's just going to be one of those deals where it just doesn't want to comply. It's got a compliance challenge. So, just a little. I think if you just looked at it real mean, it would have done it. My big concern here is first time out with this microphone is I don't know its lifespan, its battery life. Yeah, I'm not digging that right there. We're going to be doing some stuff to that. And based on what I'm seeing here, it's going to have to based on my great sense of deduction here, you probably put the washer on before you put the bolt on, the nut. Just thinking. Yeah, I could be wrong. And it helps if you have the nut fully threaded before you let go of it. Okay. I'm just saying. So we have this there. Then this little who's it goes there. And its cousin, the other who's it goes there. And we can Now, obviously, we're going to have to get the meter out, the nano VNA, nano VA, VNA. I'm going to read the box so I'm saying the right word. I'm just going to like get this mounted, and with the understanding that I'm not wreathing on it for the final position. But there it is. Okay, then this would be where you'd mount it this way on a pole. And again, not what I may do is I may take this screw out, through screw it, put a screw all the way through in a nut and bolt and join it that way. But besides that, I mean, this setup was rather simple. And again, you tune it for the frequency band, center of band, the center frequency that you're going to be transmitting on by sliding this back and forth on both rails, loosening them both up while you're connected to either an antenna analyzer that will work on 440 VHF or an S meter, SWR meter, or the nano VNA. So that is the single band Yagi 440, and its future is going to be GMRS. That's what I'm going to tune this for. That's what I bought it for, and that's what I will use it for. And its full capacity will be as a directional GMRS antenna. And it's not bad. It really isn't. It's well constructed. And the other thing is, the biggest thing is that if somebody was going to do this and wanted the measurements off of it, I now have one here that I can give you the measurements on if you want to just build one and have the information. Now, if you're going to build it, the way I understand it is you have to split this element, the driven element, split it in half, and it needs to be not connected, electrically connected, bonded to the rail, yet it still needs to be in the same plane. Okay, so I'm thinking that probably what you would have to do is get a piece of poly that's the same size as the inside diameter of this, make your split here, and have the poly go down quite a ways for rigidity, and have it open enough that you can drill that diameter hole through it squarely so that the element isn't cockeyed this way. It isn't, so that they're square. They're 90 degree to each other. Okay. Then you'd drop a screw in it into each side of the radial, and you would solder the center post of the connector there, and or a piece of coax. You'd put the center pin here and the braid over here, and then you'd be able to use it just as it is. And I think where on this you would attach the feed point is what's going to give you, and the distance here is what's going to give you your ability to tune. If anybody out there knows exactly, see what I think this is a just an elbow connection, and there's just a space. All this piece of rigid poly does is keep the end of this little stub element a set distance from the end of this connection. Okay. I don't believe that there's a cable that goes through it. I'm going to do some more research, but I believe it's just an airspace, and then the connection comes from this joint right here, this connection here. And so, yeah. And this has a great bearing on being able to tune this antenna, this airspace between the end of this coupling and the end of this element. If anybody has those measurements or has any more precise words than I think, that would be great. You can put those in the comments. But there you go. That's 2 Yagis in one day. And except for this one joint right here, this is actually a very, very solid feeling antenna. I'm not hating it at all. This can be overcome right here, this mechanical connection, just with a through bolt. And it's you saw me do it and just opened it and just put it together. And I feel fairly confident that 7 and 7 and 6 and 6 and 5 and 5, and the fact that they put the feed point here and it's hard mounted, I think I did it probably the right way. So easy, even a jarhead can do it. I like it. Hey, do me a favor. If any of my stuff has been at least a little bit interesting, humorous, or I don't know, taught you something, think about giving me a thumbs up, a like, or a subscribe, and I would appreciate it. Thanks.